Press conference. Thank you for all for being here. Just got Coach Houck with us today, and Coach, we'll start with your initial thoughts on Sac State as Montana gets ready to hit the road.
Okay, everybody ready? You gonna be there tonight or no?
I'm gonna be there tonight. Yeah.
Blame you. You broke up the flow last week.
We can alternate.
Sent me Heiner.
We can alternate.
All right. Sac State, big game, obviously. They'll be highly ranked. I don't think they've trailed in a game yet this year. They're rushing it for 275 a game. So, 380 last week or something close to that against Eastern. They've just been outstanding so far. So, be a real test for us. Certainly, we're well aware that it's a big game in terms of the conference schedule. Has been the last couple of years, so we're excited to go down there and play our best game of the year, hopefully.
Coach, with the loss kind of being new for everyone this year, and obviously a huge two-game back-to-back road trip here, what was kind of your message to the team to keep them focused and leave Saturday in the past post-game?
We didn't execute well enough. We need to do that, and we're a team that looks at this week, and each week we want to be undefeated in the week. We didn't do that last week. This week we want to be undefeated, and we'll see if we can.
And how confident are you in their ability to kind of respond positively?
Our guys?
Yeah.
I think we have a competitive team, and I think they'll go compete this week.
Sac has had talent for so long, but it seems like Troy Taylor and that staff has sort of figured out a way to use it to the best of their abilities. What have you seen in just sort of their program evolution that has helped them share the last two league titles?
The league title thing's always an interesting discussion, but they've done a really nice job. I think they're good coaches. Obviously, we have a lot of history and carryover with their coaching staff and have a high regard for them. I think they've done an excellent job. And they've had good players, and those guys are competing hard and doing a good job. I mean, they've had a really nice season so far.
You mentioned the run game, and that's been they were good running the ball the last couple of years, but they've been great running the ball this year. How much of it is the development of Cameron Scatabo, the running back, and how much of it's the offensive line? What do you see in their run game?
Well, they have good backs, plural, right? And they do have the ability to throw it, and they have a pretty significant quarterback run component as well. So you have to defend the whole thing. It's akin to triple option football. Everything from the splits to everything else. So, good by them. They're really rolling up the rushing yards. It's a huge challenge.
And that two-quarterback system, how challenging is that? I mean, because they are very committed to running both those guys.
Yeah, they play them both. They're different from one another, but the offense isn't different. So, they've done a nice job with that. Probably as good as I've ever seen.
Bobby, we've talked a lot, obviously. If you had your choice, you'd rather play the games earlier in the day. I'm just wondering, kind of curious, how do you think, is there an effective way to kind of kill time during the day? And do you think last year with the late kick at Cheney kind of helped the preparation for this game as far as finding things to do to help occupy the time?
Oh, I don't know that last year at Eastern Washington has anything to do with anything, but some of your games are at night, and you have a plan for how to work through the day. And we all coached in the Mountain West. I coached in the Mountain West for 8 years. Every game was at night, so we have an idea how we want to do it.
And with the two quarterbacks like Coulter was talking about, you've literally played them about a calendar year ago. Is there anything that stands out on film that they've kind of developed since that game coming into this game for the quarterbacks?
In terms of
anything new, anything that stands out?
No, they do what they do.
You mentioned just that SAC runs that 2 QB system better than any team you've seen. Like, why is that? Why do you think they've been able to find that success with that system?
That's probably a question for them, but I'm assuming it's because both those kids in their quarterback room embrace it.
Last year, coming off the loss to Sac State, you guys went on to win. I believe it was 5 or 6 games in a row. So the team can rebound. They've proven this. A lot of players on this team have proven that. So does that give you confidence knowing that these guys know how to approach that after a loss?
Approach playing.
Approach rebounding. Coming off of a loss.
Everybody here's coached a long time. We've all lost before. So, I mean, I guess when you ask that question, I'd say, are you insinuating if you lose, you can't go win?
No, just if these guys have proven it, right? They've proven that they can bounce back even after a tough loss like last year.
Well, we know we're going to lose games at some point in time. Everybody who plays a sport does that. So do you just quit or do you go play? We're going to go play. I mean, I don't really understand the question. Unless you want to follow up.
No,
Okay. I mean, hell, you play sports, you lose. I mean, look, we can play a game of cards. One of us can lose. We're going to cribbage. We're going to play the next one, and we're going to quit.
And Coach, you mentioned they haven't trailed yet this year. How important is it going to be for you guys to, get that strike first in the game?
It's important we score more points than them. All that stuff is just, I mean, we can talk about crap like that, but none of it has any bearing on the game. We got to outplay them, outscore them. They got to do the same to us. Whoever does that's going to win.
We've talked so much about all the guys that touch the ball. What's your evaluation of the fronts there at Sac State?
It's a little early
Yeah.
for me on that. So it's too early for me to answer that.
You mentioned you do have some.
Meaning Monday,
You mentioned there is some ties there, though, on the coaching staff. In your memory, what characterizes Kurt Paulson as a coach? Because I know you've been around him a lot. He coached for you for a long time.
Craig?
Yeah.
Craig's knows the game, locked in, focused, intense, all the things you ought to be as a football coach. Smart. He's a math guy, for God's sake.
Bobby, I know you talked a little bit on Saturday. You kind of wanted to wait to see the film before you judged the full offensive performance. Was there anything that stood out from your offense as far as the second half and things you hope to change going into Saturday?
Yeah, I'm kind of on to Sac State now. I covered it every bit as much as I'm gonna. It's Monday afternoon, as I just said.
Anybody else? Thanks, everyone.
Oh, good. Thanks, guys.